can you explain the between lives area?
Very, very well.
Tell me about it.
Okay, this is a lot of fun. Okay, you ready for this? Okay, this is I love talking about the between lives area. It's one of my favorite subjects. When you die by dropping your body, whether it's voluntarily, like Ron did, or involuntarily, like most people die from dying, you do a shift in space, and you appear. You don't go cause-distance effect, you go cause-effect. You appear without distance at the Between Lives Area Station, which is a long gangplank, sort of thing, leading to the gates of Mars. Have you ever heard of that expression before, the gates of Mars? No. That's the entranceway to the Between Lives area.
Where is it?
Mars. Mars. The planet Mars. Why do you think visions of hell are red? Did you ever stop to think about that?
No.
Well, that's the reason.
Okay.
You learn that when you learn that actually in OT3, by the way. When you get to the Between Lives area, you see people, or specters actually, you know, like ghost-like figures, walking, but they're totally out of ARC with everyone else, because they've been, when you die, you go through this period of great non-confront, where you try to stay with the body until you really know it's dead, and then when you really confront that it's dead, the implant just has you report back. And reporting back is an actual command that you get before you pick up a new body, but I'll explain that later. You go on this line towards the gates of Mars, and you see the typical white light at the end of this tunnel, but there's no real tunnel. It's like a bridge. It's an actual bridge. And on the line, walking, following other people, which you can't really communicate with because you're really everyone's in their own universe, and they really are in total out of ARC with everyone else. You can look over the sides of this bridge without the railing, and you see what looks to the average wog as hell. But that's the wall of fire. You see? Nobody jumps into the wall of fire.
Let's take a break. Okay, so you were describing walking along the gangplank when the phone rang.
Yes, right. And I love
fire.
I love my machine. Yes, you look down and you see the wall of fire. Of course, in my book, I call it the pit of fire. You know, just because I didn't want to infringe on any trademarks of theirs, but it's the same thing. It's just for your edification. Because the wall of fire is a patented trademark, I think, of Scientology. I didn't want to break the law. Anyway, so you see the wall of fire, and they are visions of hell and fire and brimstone and the devil and whatever this is. And nobody jumps off the bridge into the wall of fire, but in OT3, you have to. You have to confront the wall of fire while you're... That's the point. You see, you have to jump into the wall of fire. Now, what happens when you jump into the wall of fire? Because, of course, I was co-audited on this in Copenhagen. First thing you think, you're burning up, you know. But as a spiritual being, as a thetan, you can't feel pain. As soon as you can confront the visios, the pictures, it all as-is-is.
It what?
It as-is-is.
As-is-is?
As-is-is, which means you make a mental image picture vanish. Because you create... You create a perfect duplicate, and you make it vanish. You know what I'm talking about.
Certainly.
Okay. So then you go through another level of hell below that. It's the sea of souls, you know. And you feel yourself choking, and you feel the mud going up your nostrils and in your throat, and all of these different things are happening to you, and you feel this weight of gravity like drowning you in mud and quicksand and everything else. And as soon as you confront that, psh, it explodes away and vanishes, you know. And then you have there are other levels below that. There's the ice cube, which is, you know, they're all in the history of man, really. Anyone can really read them and not know what they really are. But in any case, you go through all of these levels, and at the bottom of this thing, you find out, hey, I'm okay. I can confront anything. Because all of these pictures are false pictures. But this is not what happens in the Between Lives area. Now, I digressed to tell you about how to confront OT3. You know.
Finish the Between Lives area.
Okay, let's do the Between Lives area first. So you get to finally get to the gates of Mars, and you're
on the gangplank?
You're on the gangplank, and it takes about, the whole process takes 69 days.
69 days?
Of Earth time. You know, and it's, the first day you spend on the gangplank, or the first 3 days, I forget exactly what it is. I have the data somewhere. But then you get into the, you go through the Between Lives area and pass through the gates of Mars. And the first thing that happens is that you get a compulsion or an implant or a hypnotic suggestion in WOG language to mock up how you died, or to recreate a picture of a false, of your death. But the problem with it is, it's not really how you died. You mock up a false death. In other words, if you died from a heart attack, you might get the compulsion to recreate a picture of you dressed something entirely different in a different time period, different space location, being hit by a truck. So automatically what's happening is that you're totally confused. The purpose of the Between Lives area, I should say, first of all, is to wipe out your memory so that when you come back, you don't remember anything. After you go through this rigorous procedure of mocking up a false death, then you're given something called the year zero. The year zero, right away, if you ever see the year zero after you drop your body, you'll know it's a fake implant, because there is no year zero. But what occurs is that you have to recreate your entire time track from the beginning of time by creating pictures. The first phase, I should say, is when they give you pictures of your false death. They give the pictures to you.
Who's they?
The suppressives that run the Between Lives area on automatic. It actually runs on automatic.
Who does that, though?
Well, in the upper levels, you realize that it was set up by Christ in one of his first lifetimes. But you don't get this data, really. You're not supposed to get this data until OT5. I have an in, so I got the data. You know.
What's the in?
Well, anyway, when I was in Denmark, I pulled a few strings, and they thought I was at a higher level than I really was. So I got some confidential data, and I wrote that up later on, and I got into a lot of trouble for that too. But anyway, the point is, you learn in the second wall of fire that it was Jesus Christ who built the Between Lives area, and that was his overt. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, what occurs is this. The first phase, you are given pictures of a false death. You don't mock them up yourself. I think I might have said that, but in retrospect, you are given the pictures. The second phase is the year zero, when you have to create pictures of your entire time track from, quote, the year zero. Except what you're doing is you're creating a lot of mock-ups and a lot of, very much like a dream. Very much the way you dream. When you dream things, you create things out of sequence, and sometimes you wake up scared because you're the total effect of the dream. And he's falling asleep. It's too many MUs, you see.